The marathon continues. The Mamba mentality has left a mark. Shout out to the NBA legend, Kobe, and your daughter, Gigi. From Tom Brady to Drew Bledsoe. Rain, sleet, or snow, I grind. I am the difference maker. I am the game changer.
Guys, welcome to the first episode of the Game Changers live on the Right Way Sports Network's YouTube channel. I'm your host, CEO of the Right Way Sports Network, Malik Wright, joined with my co-host, Mr. Cody in the building. What's going on, Cody?
Hey, living the dream, man. A day we get to talk about sports is a good day. Let's get at it.
I would agree. We've got Alexis Jennings in the building. What's going on, Alexis?
How we doing, guys?
Good. It's great to be back with you.
It is. It's nice to see your lovely faces.
So first and foremost, when we first started the groundwork of the show, I was thinking about who I wanted to work with first and foremost. And I'll tell you right now, we have some amazing people here at the Right Way Sports Network, but I really, really was excited to work with Cody, who we just brought on here at TWSN, and Alexis, who I am very fond of, who I've worked with in the past. And she's just overall great. But Alexis, listen, I wanted to say Happy National Women's Day in sports to you. Obviously, I always said that you were the first lady here at the Right Way Sports Network.
Thank you
for everything that you do and everything that you've brought to the TWSN. And let's make this show one of the best yet.
Absolutely.
With that being said, Alexis, you know what I say. I'll shut up and I'll let you take over.
Awesome. We're going to have a great first debut show. We're going to talk about some great things tonight, guys. I'm excited to be here with both of you. I will say that. And I'm just looking forward to what we're about to get into. And with that being said, I want us to hop into our first topic of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Sunday.
Okay.
We got a big Super Bowl matchup that we're about to see. It's going to be a fun game.
Mm-hmm. We
got the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, and, Tom Brady, the GOAT. He made it there with the Bucs.
Yeah.
There's a lot about him in this game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Look, I am super pumped for this game. They have the over-under at 55.5 right now. It's the highest I can remember in recent memory for a Super Bowl. Two high-powered offenses, so many weapons. It should be an absolutely fun game to watch. Lots of points scored, two great quarterbacks. You got the GOAT in Tom Brady, and you got the baby GOAT in Patrick Mahomes. There should be some fireworks in this game, and it should be fun to watch come Sunday.
Yeah, it should be fun to watch, right? I mean, the logical standpoint, you'd be like, the Chiefs are going to win. That's what most people are going to say. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to win, right? They're the defending champions, right? But I'm not so sure, Cody. I'm not so sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me hear it. If you had to state a case, right? If you were to convince me, I haven't watched football all year.
Sure.
Why are you giving the Buccaneers the chance to win?
Listen, I'll give the Buccaneers a chance to win because they have a little something called defense. Listen, we've seen this Kansas City Chiefs offense struggle. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the Raiders game. Go turn on the Raiders game.
Yep.
Go turn on the Chargers game where they always struggle with the Chargers. But listen, they have a pass rusher by the name of Shaq Barrett. Jason Pierre-Paul seems like his career is on a resurgence over in Tampa right now. Their linebackers are playing out of their minds right now. They have some pretty good corners. Antoine Winfield Jr. is playing great. I'm not saying that they're going to stop this Kansas City Chiefs offense because let's be honest, that's going to be difficult to do. I think that this Kansas City Chiefs offense is going to score at least 20, but if you can keep them under 28, I think you're in a good situation. Tampa's offense can score. The Chiefs defense is okay. I mean, they tend to get it going in the playoffs. And I just think that the makings right there for the Buccaneers, they have the talent necessarily to win, right? The Kansas City Chiefs don't have good linebackers. They can run the ball on them. They'll be able to run the ball on them if that's something that they choose to do. They'll be even able to utilize their tight ends, Cameron Brayton and Rob Gronkowski. If I listen, I'm not the head coach of the Tampa Buccaneers. I'm not even the offense coordinator, who happen to be one of the same. But what I am saying is, if I was, diving, into a plan to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm attacking the intermediate of the field. That's what I'm doing. I'm attacking them at the linebacker where the linebackers are supposed to be covering, and I'm taking advantage of that all day. That all being said, I don't know.
I agree to an extent. When you are going to attack the Chiefs, you have to attack the middle of that defense. Granted, you have Tyrann Mathieu, Honey Badger, roaming around, man. He is dangerous when he, gets an opportunity to make plays. But their linebackers have been suspect, especially in coverage. You got two great weapons in Cameron Brate and Rob Gronkowski that Tom Brady, he loves to use. So I think they do give him shots, especially in the red zone. Yeah. But man, the Chiefs just do something special that I'm not sure that Tampa Bay defense is able to keep up with.
Nope.
And it's all the pre-snap motion that they do, all the formations, the alignment, everything that Andy Reid does when he puts pen to paper, the things that he schemes up, him and Eric Bieniemy both, two phenomenal offensive minds. They are going to find ways to exploit the Buccaneers defense. They had holes, and the Buccaneers were able to shore those up when they played earlier in the season, but they let Tyreek go for 200 yards in the first quarter. I think the Chiefs have a chance to put up points, and if they put up points early, they can make that Tampa Bay offense a little more one-dimensional, because you running on the Chiefs works, but you can't run on the Chiefs when you're down a couple of scores against Patrick Mahomes. So
this is true.
I mean, it should be a good game, but I like the Chiefs here. I personally think they can really continue to push offensively and put that pressure on Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I think what it's going to come down to, and they're the two of the playmakers that you mentioned, Jason Pierre-Paul, Shaq Barrett. You got Devin White and Levante David there.
Almacon too, Vita Vea. I mean, the list literally goes on. They've got some time. Listen, the Kansas City Chiefs right now, we know who their X factors are. It's Tyreek Hill. It's Cole Hardman, it's Travis Kelce, and it's Patrick Mahomes, right? He's the great equalizer here. But that offense currently, as it stands right now, can match them. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, if he's not, being Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, Rob Gronkowski, I mean, the list goes on. Don't even sleep on the rookie Tyler Johnson. These things can happen. These are realistic things that can happen. So all the while I see everyone saying this could be a high-scoring game, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be a high-scoring game. I think it might be one of those low-scoring 21-24 games. I genuinely do, because I definitely think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense can slow down the Kansas City Chiefs offense. I genuinely do. That all being said, I'm not crazy. I'm not going to pick against the Kansas City Chiefs. I am just saying the makings of a loss for the Kansas City Chiefs is right there. Tom Brady, Alexa said it at the beginning, she said he is the GOAT. And listen, there's something about Tom Brady when he gets into the Super Bowl when he's not going against the New York Football Giants.
There is something going there with Tom Brady. And he's shown us time and time again that he can get to a Super Bowl. Yeah. And for all of those who said that it was a him and Bill Belichick thing.
Whoa. See, that's where I want to stop it. I mean,
where we want to talk about that, because
the one thing about the Game Changer shows, we're going to be talking about things. It's not going to be it's going to be scripted. It's going to be some stuff that we talk about, some topics that come up, but it's more so going to be a show where we're just talking casually. And I'm so happy that you brought that up, Alexis, because that is a notion, that is a narrative that is out right now where people are saying, look at it. Tom Brady is in the Super Bowl and Bill Belichick didn't even make the playoffs. Stop it. Let's stop that narrative right now. To everyone at home that is saying that, to everyone who's watching this is saying that. I haven't heard Danny Amendola come out and say Tom Brady is way. I said, whoa. We're not going to act like Bill Belichick didn't take the Patriots to 11-5 record with Matt Castle at quarterback. We're not going to act like he didn't keep the Patriots afloat when Tom Brady was dealing with his suspensions for Deflategate. Listen, the fact of the matter is, Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay, but let's not act like Tampa Bay didn't have a plethora of weapons for Tom Brady there.
Oh, absolutely.
A ridiculous amount of weapons for Tom Brady there. So to compare that to the Patriots, what the Patriots have, is absolutely asinine. It's not something I'm ready to do. I'm just not ready to do that just yet. I've been seeing that a lot on the internet. People are like, well, Tom Brady. But Tom Brady went to a stacked Buccaneers football team. He's throwing to Mike Evans, a 6'5" receiver. Look at the nose. Look at the last time Tom Brady threw it to a 6'5" receiver, or over 6 foot. It was Randy Moss, right?
Yeah, I think he had a pretty decent season that year, if I do remember. I don't know. A couple touchdowns were thrown between him and Randy Moss. Mm-hmm. Look, I agree. You're comparing apples to oranges, right? Tom Brady is phenomenal in what he's able to do. Absolutely. At the end of the day, football is a team sport, right? And Bill Belichick has been able to build teams and build a franchise that has been able to compete year in and year out, regardless of what moving pieces have been there and everything that's shifted around. That being said, yeah, he's not there this year, but they shelled out to win 3 Super Bowls in the last, 6 years?
Right.
I mean, when you do that, yeah, you're going to have success comes in ebbs and flows, right? You can't, we've been spoiled with so much Patriot success that we think that achieving conference championship level play every single year is the norm for them. They are the exception. Absolutely. And as anything with greatness does, there is ebbs and flows, right? So I think we can establish here that they are both great in their own right, and together they were incredible.
Thank you.
I just get to watch some Tom greatness by himself, let him shine.
I think it's great. And listen, let's not even forget Bruce Arians is a hell of a coach. He won two-time coach of the year as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So when he went over there, it's funny. A couple of months back, one of the guys on the right with Sports Network, he said Drew Brees and Sean Payton were overrated duo. I said, whoa, what do you mean they're overrated duo? Compared to what? A duo that is able to get to a championship and win a championship. I don't think that they're overrated. I think that they're good. Now, would you certainly have liked to see more from them? Absolutely. But if we're comparing them to Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, to Cody's point, they're the rare they're the rare tag team. Just like if someone's trying to compare Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, once again another rare a rare team. But I'm done yapping.
So, with that being said, I think we're gonna have an interesting game, a very good matchup on our hands on Sunday. And if it wasn't clear, I do want you guys to go out and throw out your picks. Go ahead, Cody.
All right. So with that being said, I am concerned a little bit with the Chiefs' offensive line health. If there's any position that the Tampa Bay's defense is going to exploit, it's going to be on those tackles. They have great edge rushers. They can contain the middle with their interior defensive linemen. I'm going to take the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Chiefs money line. I'm going to take the Chiefs -3 if we're betting against the spread. I think they find a way to get it done. But man, is it going to be a good game. It is going to be a good game.
Malik, what's your pick?
I said on this show, I was like, leading up to it, I was like, I'm ready to make my prediction. I'm going to make and now hearing Cody make his prediction, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready. But I will. Because I promised I would.
My man.
This is really a tough game. This is really a tough one.
Oh yeah.
You see, Tampa has the ability to do something that I don't think hasn't been done, if it ever has been done. I'm not sure, but to win a Super Bowl, in their home stadium. Man, this is tough.
Never been done. It has never been done.
This is probably one of the hardest Super Bowls that I've ever had to give a prediction for. I'm going with the Buccaneers.
Okay.
Man.
Buccaneers this game. I don't know why. I just feel
you think Tom Brady can get it done?
I think Tom Brady can get it done. I think that defense has enough in their arsenal to shock. And I'm not confident saying that too, by the way, guys. Just so we're clear. I am not confident in making this pick. I'm sure tomorrow I'll wake up and I'll say the Chiefs. Or after the show, I might say the Chiefs. I am genuinely not sure. So if you're hoping to say, Malik's opinion, that's what I'm gonna go with. Don't. I am not confident at all. And I'm usually confident.
I heard the scariest. Oh.
What happened?
You just cut out there for just a second.
Nope, you're good.
Okay. Here, I did hear something incredibly frightening this week. And is Tom Brady, when talking about how all the differences between, the COVID protocols and Super Bowl row and the media and everything, he goes, I have never had this much time to prepare for a Super Bowl. And that just sent chills down my spine. So we will see, man. Nobody prepares like Tom Brady.
Right.
Yeah. It's definitely an unprecedented time with all of this that is happening. And he's right. They've never had this much time to prepare for a Super Bowl. And this is probably one of the biggest Super Bowl games that he's gonna play.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be interesting. I can see a scenario where both team where either team wins, but something just feels like Tom Brady's on a mission, and that mission's gonna end with him hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. It seems like that mission is he wants to prove to people, hey, I am the greatest quarterback of all time. I mean, if he does it, man, seven. Oof, there's nothing else you could say. If there's anyone else doubting, if there's anyone else out there that is saying, I heard someone say, what's the guy's name from the 49ers? That was Joe Montana. Yeah. My father still thinks Dan Marino's the greatest quarterback of all time because he's a biased Miami Dolphins fan. But hey, listen, go at it. If Tom Brady wins on Sunday, though, I do not want to hear anywhere that Tom Brady isn't the GOAT.
Yeah, can't argue it. I would say that it's hard to argue now, but
very challenging to argue, right? But seven, I think seven
is
yeah.
But that's a tough number. But I guess we're gonna have to wait and see.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be exciting.
Oh, it's gonna be a great game. I'm gonna make sure I have my wings and my all the whole spread to set up because I'm sitting down and I'm watching that game at tip off.
Nothing wrong with that at all. I actually have a question though for Cody though. Cody, who do you think is going to win Super Bowl MVP?
Okay, so this award has been and will continue to be biased towards quarterbacks, and that's fine. I totally understand it. It's the same as regular season MVP. So the logical answer for this would be Patrick Mahomes because I think the Chiefs get it done, and therefore I think Patrick Mahomes has a chance to be Super Bowl MVP. I think that if that's not the case, I think it's going to end up being Tyreek Hill from a Chief standpoint. If I had to pick another Chief outside of Patrick Mahomes, I think it's going to be Tyreek Hill. The first quarter he had against that Buccaneers team, I think he really had a chance to expose some holes there. And we'll see if they play him man-to-man or if they kind of sit back in a softer zone and let Mahomes kind of tinker and see what he can pick apart in the middle of the field. But I like Tyreek Hill. I think he's got a really good chance to score, a couple big bombs. And he's just absolutely electric when he gets football in his hands. So that would be my Patrick Mahomes is going to be my but if I was, a gambling man, I may or may not be, I'd sprinkle a little money on Tyreek Hill.
Okay. I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette.
Ooh, I love that pick.
I'm going to go playoff Lenny. I think something's up with him. I don't know what it is, but it's something fantastic. I saw him post something on his social media. It was either today or yesterday where he was just going off all the narrative since he came into the league. And when he was at the Jaguars, it was like, you're selfish player. But give me playoff Lenny to win MVP. And the Buccaneers are going to win the Super Bowl. I think playoff Lenny is going to have a field day. I can see him scoring about 2 touchdowns and really breaking this game open. I'll tell you what, too. I think that, I think to your point, when that Buccaneers defense that we saw against the Kansas City Chiefs early in the season is not the same Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense we see now. They have hit their stride. They are playing well. Let me tell you something. Todd Bowles is one hell of a defensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
And if anybody's going to establish a game plan to stop this offense, it's going to be a chess match. This is going to be Todd Bowles. This game is going to be won and lost with Todd Bowles versus Andy Reid. You can bet it.
Oh, yeah. The coaching in this game is absolutely phenomenal. On both ends, all the coordinators, you got Leftwich and Todd Bowles for the Buccaneers. You got Bieniemy with the Chiefs. You got Eric Reid and Bruce Arians. The coaching matchups are going to be fun to watch. The schemes. It's football. It's a football dream, man.
Mm-hmm.
Football dream.
I got another question. And this, again, we're just talking casually about it, but I got to ask, what do you think about? I've heard you mention Eric Bieniemy a few times. It seems to me that you're an Eric Bieniemy guy, a believer.
Absolutely. So there are certain things that I just get incredibly frustrated with. The NFL head coaching hiring process is absolutely one of those things. And the way that they do it in college, I think is much more beneficial to the head coach. But it makes it, the way the NFL currently operates, it makes it incredibly difficult for NFL coordinators who are on winning teams going deep into the playoffs, the sign of good coaching, right? It makes it more difficult for them to get positions because positions fill up right away, right? So when you have coaches that are being fired, with 2-3 weeks left in the season, or that Black Monday where a lot of coaches get fired after the last NFL Sunday, it makes it disproportionate for great NFL talent to hit those head coaching positions. That being said, I also think Eric Bieniemy is in a very unique position where he can be picky with where he wants to go. And I know that we had the Texans head coaching position is somewhat of an enigma. Now, whether or not he would have stayed, or Deshaun Watson would have stayed if Bieniemy was hired, we're never going to be able to figure that out. But that being said, if he didn't like that situation, they don't have a first-round pick this year. Deshaun Watson might be on the way out. It might be in his best interest to stay. So I think Bieniemy is a brilliant, brilliant mind. He is going to be a phenomenal NFL head coach. This year wasn't the year for him. I think he deserves a better opportunity, and I think the NFL needs to sit down and evaluate how they do their head coaching hires that allow these the coaches that are making deep runs to really go out and get the jobs they deserve.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think that Eric Bieniemy should 100% be a head coach right now. I think I've been kind of I've been an advocate of his on Twitter, and I don't know why he isn't a head coach right now.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see where he lands next. I think that he should be a head coach by next year. I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan, for those of you who don't know. For those of you who do know, you guys know I'm a crazy Cincinnati Bengals fan. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. By the way, I don't know if we actually got this. Alexis, you're a Dallas Cowboys fan.
I am.
It's all right. Listen, it's okay. I'm there with you. And Cody, what about you?
So I'm a Bengals fan as well. I'm a big Bengals fan.
I thought you were a Colts fan, actually, Cody. I'm not going to lie.
So born and raised in Indiana, I just happened to pick the Bengals because I just didn't want to be a Colts fan. Everybody else was a Colts fan. They had Peyton Manning. That's the easy choice. It's easy to be a Colts fan. I wanted some difficulty and adversity in my life. So I root for the Bengals.
Did you get it?
That's fair. That's totally fair.
Did you guys hear about Andrew Luck? The rumor Andrew Luck might potentially be coming back. Another rumor. Andrew Luck might be coming back. I
didn't hear that one, but
I don't buy it. Why would I?
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Look, that man is not on social media. He's off reading a book club. He just had his first child. Let him live. He's living a good life.
Right. Let him live his good life. But I'm telling you, Andrew Luck was an all-time classic. Every time he gets dropped by our pass rusher. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It was great.
Oh, yeah.
And staying in that realm of quarterbacks, we do have to talk about a couple of things. One big thing that's been going on, that trade. Yeah. We're going to talk about this trade with the Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford, the LA Rams in exchange for Jared Goff.
Yeah.
We're going to bring that up because we can't not talk about that one.
Cody, you could start this one off, my man.
So this is a trade that doesn't happen very often, right? When you get two quarterbacks exchanged for each other, quarterback and picks. I think the last time we had a trade of quarterbacks kind of like this was Sam Bradford back in the 2000s. So this is a big blockbuster trade, really kind of shook the NFL. I am a Stafford fan. I think that Detroit as a franchise has not put the best systems or teams or coaches, whatever. They just haven't been able to put all the pieces together. Yeah. But Stafford, if you were to be totally blind to his record and totally blind to the playoffs, his stats are incredible. Yeah. And granted, that could be inflated, maybe he's down a little bit, but I think he's going to have a phenomenal opportunity. He has never had a head coach that has the offensive mind that Sean McVay does. I know he did have a good coach in Jim Caldwell, but I I am just a big fan of Matt Stafford. I think that this does make the difference for the Rams. And I think when you have an opportunity to go out and get a guy, especially at the quarterback position, who is going to take you to the next step, I think you got to do it. So I think it's a good trade for both parties, really. Malik, what are your thoughts on the other side of the trade?
All right, so this is where I bring the energy, right? This is where I get a little frustrated. I think that they were disrespectful to Jared Goff. I'm not by any means a Jared Goff stan, a Jared Goff fan, but for Sean McVay, to not even talk to the guy, to not even tell the guy, hey, we're thinking about moving on from you. You just trade away Jared damn Goff after giving him a nice contract. I get it. Listen. We're talking if this is a professional football, right? Well, this is a business at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely.
So when did it become okay to not talk with the player who literally helped take your team, lead your team to a damn Super Bowl? When did that become okay? When did that become the norm? Yeah, listen, Matt Stafford's going to do great with Sean McVay, but I don't even want to talk about the damn trade. I'm so disgusted by what I heard about how it went down. I didn't get it. It's okay to say to yourself, hey, I can't win with a guy, but to not properly communicate with the guy. Jared Goff said he didn't even know when things went sour with Sean McVay. Sean McVay, you pride yourself on communication. Let's see. You guys say you pride yourself on communication. You have an open door policy. Your players can talk to you. Why the hell won't you talk to your franchise quarterback or the guy that was supposed to be your said franchise quarterback and Jared Goff? Why didn't you have a conversation with him? Why didn't you tell him, hey, listen, we're thinking about moving on? You don't even have a conversation with the guy. He's got to hear through social media that you guys are thinking about moving on from him. You don't even think that's a conversation you need to have in your exit interviews. It's ridiculous. So, for me, bullcrap. Shame on Sean McVay. Shame on Les Snead. And listen, I get it. I'm not gonna even go off of them for trading the first round picks because the Rams haven't had first round picks in 7 years or whatever the case may be. But what I will say is if this does not work out and it blows up in your face like it has a good opportunity of doing, you have nobody to blame but yourselves, Les Snead and Sean McVay. So here I'm saying right here on the Game Changers first debut show, if this does not work, Sean McVay shouldn't just get the boot. Les Snead and him both should get the boot. They both should be out because they're both in charge of this debacle right here. But I'm just so disgusted with the way the whole Jared Goff thing was handled personally.
I don't disagree in any capacity with that because it's, how do you just go behind his back and do that without even consulting him? Not even necessarily consulting him, but like talking to him about it in some capacity. He at least you owe him that much respect.
He did take it to a Super Bowl.
That's a respect level thing, and
regardless of what do you think of him? And then the icing on the top, Cody and Alexis. Oh, Sean McVay and his fiance and Matt Stafford and his wife just so happened to be in Cabo, and then they met up for dinner. Ha! Come on, man.
Yeah, that's a coincidence. Definitely wasn't planned.
That was not a coincidence at all.
Yeah, you're going to sit here and talk about tampering this and tampering that.
Yeah,
come on,
right. Come on, they just so happened to both be in Cabo, and they just so happened to have dinner together to celebrate the trade right after. Come on, man. Come on. Listen, regardless, disgusting the way it was handled. I feel for Jared Goff. He's going from California to Detroit. So what's next for the Detroit Lions, guys? What is their future hold at the quarterback position? I don't trust the Detroit Lions as an organization either. Is Jared Goff a placeholder? Is he their long-term starter? What does their future hold? They certainly won the trade, by the way.
I mean, it's certainly going to come down to Jared Goff's ability to eat kneecaps at the end of the day. We'll see. We'll see how the Dan Campbell hire goes. But that being said, they're in a position now where they can do one of two things. They can either draft a prospect. Mm-hmm. They have a pick. I believe it is a top 10 pick, number 7, if I stand corrected. But they have an opportunity. They can go and grab a quarterback if they want to. That being said, I think Jared Goff is in a position where he is at least going to I think the starting position is his to lose. Mm-hmm. And I think he's going to have an opportunity to take the reins in Detroit and show that if he can be 2018 Pro Bowl, lead his team to the Super Bowl, Jared Goff, I think now granted, he doesn't need to take the Lions to the Super Bowl, but if he can have a great season, I think it does give gives the Lions a chance to say, hey, look, we trust you. We're going to give you the keys. Don't wreck the car. That being said, he is put in a very, very tough spot where the Lions are not They do not have the defense that the Rams had. They do not have the offensive coaching that the Rams had. They do not have the weapons that the Rams had because as of right now, both Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones Jr. are free agents, which means that Jared Goff is going to have to find somebody to throw the ball to. Now, are they in a great position at number 7 if they really believe in Jared Goff? They can go and draft a guy like Jamar Chase. You know, they have potential. They could get a guy like Kyle Pitts. He does have TJ Hawkinson, who's a great weapon at tight end, and it's always nice to have that safety blanket. But we'll see. Goff is either going to have to step up.
You already calling timeout on TJ Hawkinson?
I think TJ Hawkinson is a great player.
That being said,
look, there are a lot of first-round tight ends that don't.
Whoa, Cody! Now we got to talk about it. That's all not true.
Look, we have O.J. Howard not been up to snuff. The Bengals drafted Jermaine Gresham. How did he do in that class?
Oh, no. I agree. I think I am the one person who says you should not draft tight ends in the first round, or especially if you're going to draft tight end early. You shouldn't draft the tight end with the 8th or 7th overall pick, whatever the hell they drafted TJ Hawkinson with. The same stands for Kyle Pitts for me. He's a glorified wide receiver. That's what I think.
Look, there have been 2 people that I have just been fascinated watching that have been 6'5", 235 pounds, and have been dominant pass catchers. And the only 2 people that I can think of that fit that bill are Kyle Pitts and a man who graduated from the University of Georgia Tech in Calvin Johnson Jr. If you have a chance to get a guy who is different, I think that Kyle Pitts is absolutely different in how he is built. And that's not a knock on TJ Hawkinson. I think they could absolutely coexist in that offense. Kyle Pitts ran about 50% of his routes out of the tight end position, either out wide or in the slot. So he's a guy that you can move all over and let Hawkinson be that anchor on the end of the line and be able to hit those intermediate routes. I think they got a chance. That being said, Kyle Pitts is different. He is going to be special.
That's an interesting take.
You know, listen, he could be. If you draft him, sure. You give Jared Goff the double tight end set with TJ Hawkinson and Kyle Pitts. Nothing wrong with that. You got Kenny Golladay on the outside. Pretty sure Marvin Jones is going to leave and probably go sign somewhere else. So that works. Cody, we'll save this for another episode, but you and me have to talk about the logic of drafting tight ends early in the first round, because let me tell you something. I am just against it, man. I've been against it because, listen, you look at every top tight end in the NFL right now, every single top tight end in the NFL right now. You name them. Name me one. Travis Kelce? What?
Travis Kelce, not a first round pick. Gronk, not a first round pick.
I mean,
George Kittle, not a first round pick.
The list goes on. Exactly. So I just think that and listen, this is not me saying Kyle Pitts isn't going to be a fine player. It's not me saying he's going to be a fine player. Some team is going to take a chance and draft Kyle Pitts, and I'm sure he'll be a good receiving, right? Or at least I hope he will be. That being said, I'm just not. I don't know. There's certain positions in the NFL draft that if my team drafts in the first round, I'm going to be looking. I'm not going to feel fulfilled. Like, does any team draft Kyle Pitts and come away saying, "Yes, we got our guy"? Like, our team is like he's going to transform our entire football team. I don't know if I don't know if a tight end's doing that personally. That's just me though.
Hey. As we get closer to draft day and we'll start getting closer, we will talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about
that's the one thing I love about working with Cody, man. And like I said, I knew right away when me and Cody talked on the phone, I said, this is an amazing fit. We're going to do some special stuff together and with Miss Alexis Jennings as well. I said, he's so well-versed in everything. He can talk about everything. And that's the kind of stuff that I was really looking for. So, Cody, it's really an honor working with you, man. Seriously.
Oh, it's great. It's great, man.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be here with both of you.
We love having you. I didn't mean to leave you out there.
We are just lucky for you to grace us with your presence. Man, you just tie it all together. You're the glue that holds together me and Malik.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to be some heated. We're being very cordial.
Oh, yeah. We're debut episode.
It's going to be some debates back and forth.
We're going to get into it.
Yeah.
We're going to start diving deeper into some things, but we just had to give you guys a little bit of a taste for tonight, Oh.
Before we go, Alexis, I do want to touch on Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
I want to touch on two things: Deshaun Watson and courtside Karen.
Take your pick between the drama and those two.
Oh my God, it is wild.
It's juicy. It's definitely juicy.
So, what's next for Deshaun Watson? Does he get a trade, guys, or do the Houston Texans do sort of what the Bengals did with Carson Palmer? Do they, hang tight and just tell him to rot, so to speak, until a team comes with a ridiculous offer? What do you think happens? Because Deshaun Watson's talking about sitting out the rest of the season.
Cody.
I mean, Deshaun Watson is certainly in a position where he could. Now, does it make sense for him to sit out an entire season? That is up to his discretion, and we've never seen a player of his caliber do it. I know we've seen Le'Veon Bell sit out, but the running back position is not nearly as important as what in my mind, a top 5 quarterback in the NFL is. Deshaun Watson can force his hand here, and I think the biggest piece in this whole trade is that he does have a no-trade clause in his contract. So they can't ship him off to a team that he doesn't want to go to. So ultimately, it's really going to end up in Deshaun Watson's lap is whether or not he wants to go. I think teams are going to offer the keys to the car, the keys to the house, the naming rights to their firstborn son. I mean, they are going to ship out everything for Deshaun Watson, and you're going to need to get a guy like him. That being said, if the Texans have to if he's not going to play and it becomes evident week 1, week 2 that he's not, you have to get what you can. You have to get what you can, because if you get nothing and somehow he ends up leaving that organization for pennies, the Texans are going to be in a much worse spot than they already are, and they are already in a tough spot.
Yeah, listen, I think Deshaun Watson, I'm happy. I'm proud of him. I'm first and foremost I'm proud of Deshaun Watson. Like I literally want to. I really want to be like KD right now, Kevin Durant. Like, you're the real MVP, because it takes a special kind of player to recognize this earlier in his career that, hey, I can't win here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Andre Johnson, if he can go back and redo things, he would have done that.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins, luckily he didn't have to make that decision. They made it for him thanks to Bill O'Brien. So Bill O'Brien helped him out by making that decision for him. The Houston Texans are a bottom feeder organization, in my opinion.
Yep.
I think the fact that you know who the issue is, Jack Esterby, and you choose as the owner, McNair, to not address it, well, that's shame on you. The fact that you promised Deshaun Watson that he'd be involved in the head coaching and general manager search and he was not, that's unacceptable. He is your franchise player. You have to do everything in his interest, right? It's your job as the football team to make sure you keep your franchise quarterback happy. Why? Because right now, Deshaun Watson is the only thing putting butts into seats. J.J. Watt has been a Houston Texan, right? This is the first quarterback J.J. Watt has had. I'm pretty sure J.J. Watt in Houston and J.J. Watt would have won a lot more playoff games in Houston had he had Deshaun Watson his entire career. The fact of the matter is, Deshaun Watson sells tickets right now. Deshaun Watson is the moneymaker for Houston. Deshaun Watson, I literally have seen this man keep the Houston Texans in games that they have no business being in.
Absolutely. I mean, the guy is tougher than nails. He's out here completing touchdown passes after getting kicked in the face.
Yeah.
He has been an absolute weapon on the field. But I think it really has brought to light how much power players have now compared to what they used to have.
I agree.
Right. So you've seen guys who have been able to hold out and kind of get what they're worth. But this is Deshaun Watson putting his foot down. And at the end of the day, this has shown how much power these players have and how much power they should have, because they do bring butts to seats.
Right.
And Deshaun Watson has been incredible. He should, if you are not going to treat your players right, I mean, it's a workplace environment. Malik, you should know better than anything. You are literally the CEO of your own company, right? If your employees are not happy, you will not have a successful company. I don't care how talented your employees are. Mm-hmm. So this is an absolute, it's negligence by the Texans. If you cannot establish a good culture, you will not win football games.
Absolutely.
It's plain and simple.
Absolutely. And I think something has to be done here. I'd like to see Deshaun Watson out of Houston. I don't know necessarily. I don't really have a destination in mind for him. I know Miami has been talked about with everything going on with Tua, and then apparently players coming out saying they don't believe in Tua. But I think that it's in the interest of both parties that you move on, because at the very least, at least you know now before the season starts. And to Cody, to your point, you said players don't are realizing how much power they have. I think players have always had this much power. I don't think that they realized they did, but they've all kind of always had this much power. I think now that we see NBA players and NFL players kind of intertwining one another on social media, being friends, hanging outside, NBA players literally, the NBA is a player-driven league, right?
Absolutely.
Stars to each other and you know, riding side by side one another. And I think this is what NFL players have always wanted. They wanted the opportunity, freedom that the NBA players have. And now you're starting to see that. Look at Odell Beckham. Yep. Odell Beckham forced his way with Jarvis Landry. He told him, like, you know, like he there's something he wanted to do, something that they always want to do. Now, it's not necessarily working out for him in terms of his stats wise, but it's something I think that we're going to continue to see happening. I think we're going to see a changing of the guard as the years continue to go on. I think we're going to see players forcing their way out of the situations that they're not happy, stars teaming up, because people understand, like, listen, you win, you can win a lot more. You know, the long gone are the days of being the loyal player staying with one his entire career, taking that team over the top. Because guess what, you could be committed to the team, but the team might not be committed to you.
Yep,
absolutely. Yep. And these players are definitely becoming more vocal now that they are seeing that they can do these things and they do have these powers, you know, to be happy and to kind of feel like they're in a better place. It's definitely something that we're going to see a lot more of. I'm excited to see what it's going to do around the league, though.
Always shakes things up.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. And other thing we want to talk about, speaking about, you know, being more vocal, we had a situation over in the NBA with, as Malik likes to call it, courtside Karen there. We saw in this recent Lakers game, the fan that was, you know, having some words with LeBron James over alleged comments made to her husband or her boyfriend. Either way, we're going to pose a question here. Should stadiums be allowed to kick fans out courtside that are there? They're paying their money for coming at players.
Cody, you can start this.
Look, fans are fanatics. It is the root of the word. They're crazy, they're passionate, and they always will be. That being said, if you cross a line, and there is a definite hard line, if you cross that line, yeah, you're gone, right? Now, I heard that she was saying some things that, you know, maybe weren't that bad. Like, it wouldn't have normally gotten her kicked out. You also have to realize, courtside Karen, there's no one behind you, right? You don't have 30,000 fans booing LeBron as he walks into the away, you know, stadium. Not that LeBron really ever gets booed, but you don't have the Rockets fans behind you. When it's just you and there's only a handful of fans in those seats, everything that you say is going to be magnified. So you can't be upset when you get kicked out of a game like that. Again, it is a workplace. Like, they have the right to enjoy it. That being said, LeBron calls fans out. I get it. I understand. It is what it is. People are going to call LeBron soft for doing it. LeBron's called out fans before. Yeah. That's fine. Whatever. LeBron's going to be hated on. It is what it is.
He's LeBron.
But some of these fans and player interactions are what make the NBA so great. You get the Spike Lee, Reggie Miller type stuff, right? So it is good to have back and forth between players and fans. Agreed. I think it brings a liveliness to the games, especially when there aren't fans. That being said, don't cross the line. Don't be an idiot. I think she is, oh man, all right, this might be spicy, but I'm going to let it out there. I think she 100% did this intentionally, went to the game knowing that she was going to say something to either LeBron or one of the players on the Lakers. Obviously, you're going to say it to LeBron. He's the biggest name out there. Her Instagram jumped from like 10,000 followers to like 55, 60,000 followers. Look, I'm not a businessman, but I know when something is up, it's clout. She's out there for the clout. If it was any other game, any other player, she wouldn't have done it. She did it to LeBron, and then she goes and posts on Instagram immediately after on her story. Okay, Karen.
Okay, take care, Karen. So you know, I was going to take the fan side, believe it or not, at one point. I was, because, and everybody knows I am a huge LeBron fan. He is my NBA. He's my favorite NBA team as well.
Love it.
But I'm not going to anymore. And here's why: because I did homework. Obviously, this lady, not only the lady, but her husband, who LeBron said he thought was he thought was her father. Yeah, he got him a steroid.
On the figure steroid.
Yeah, he's this is something that's been going on with them and LeBron James apparently since like LeBron was with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like he has a hatred for LeBron. Whatever he does, he's very wealthy. He's able to afford courtside tickets quite often. But he apparently gets into it and says things to LeBron a lot of the times. And if you go down on one of his Instagram pages I saw on social media, he was saying that this punk almost sat on my phone or something like that, or something ridiculous like that. So like you could tell that this was pre-planned. It was something that they already had in their minds. They went to the game with the intention of obviously going at LeBron. I certainly think that they didn't expect a reaction. Well, they got one. That all being said, I don't necessarily think fans should be kicked out of the games. They're spending their hard-earned money. Yeah, I think that they have an opportunity. They should have an opportunity to voice their opinion. It's what makes the NBA the NBA. It's what makes the NFL. Say what's on your mind. Speak what's on your mind, even if you're cursing. Certain players out there who make me laugh, Alexis and Cody, like Russell Westbrook. You say something to him, he'll literally walk off the court up in your face.
Oh yeah,
he's a special one.
He is a special one. He is not somebody that you want to draw because, excuse me, like you won't have to worry about the security at the stadium taking you out. He might take you out. So
he will take you out himself, and he does not care anything about what comes out of his mouth.
Not at all. But that's all I got.
Yes. Well, guys, it has been an interesting
yeah.
week.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
I think that it's still rounding out this week.
Yeah,
so,
it's trying.
There'll definitely be a lot more interesting things to come.
Yeah.
But with that being said, that's going to do it for us here tonight and the premiere debut episode of the Game Changers. I want you guys to throw out your social media handles. Let's, where can people find you?
So I'll go ahead and go first. You can see it below, right here at Smash Hit Sports. It's on YouTube. It's on Twitter. It's on Instagram. More importantly, the Right Way Sports Network. Follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. Download the Right Way Sports Network app so you can get the latest and greatest content and articles and videos, not only from us, but from the awesome team here at Right Way Sports. So, again, at Smash Hit Sports, man, I'm going to get this down. By show like 15, 16, I'll get it down.
It's going to take some time, right?
Go ahead and give us a follow. We are just as entertaining on the internet as we are here. I can promise you that.
I agree. You can follow me at Right Report on Twitter and follow TWSN. More importantly, follow the crew at TWSN. They do an amazing job. Everybody does an amazing job. Super proud of the guys. Make sure you catch the On the Ball podcast this upcoming Friday. Guys, Pranav Sriraman, the lead here at TWSN, along with Thomas Stapleton, Will Lachlan, who did a phenomenal job filling in for me on the Right Way show, and Christian DeBlock. And you can keep it locked here. We've got shows pretty much. Guys, we're getting there. We're almost having a show almost every single day this week. We still got to add some more. We have our TWSN kickoff show, Super Bowl preview going on. And then you can catch Aiden and Thomas's Run the Clock every single Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the Right Way show every single Tuesday Eastern Standard Time. And obviously me and my man Cody and Alexis, we are here. The Game Changers have definitely changed the game. We are ready. We are excited, guys, and we can't wait to get it going. We cannot wait to get this thing going. We're going to continue each and every single week here, Wednesdays. You guys keep it locked with us. And remember, guys, there's only one way, and that is the right way. Have a good night, everybody.